Well, this is nice. What year did you say this was again?
2023.
2023. Yeah, it is good and dirty, man. So we're gonna hit this thing hard. We're gonna go at it with the smallest power washers we can. We got in some special new toys for this one. We're gonna do it touchless. We'll find out how we do. And then we'll make it perfect afterwards, you know? So we'll see you in a few days?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate you coming by.
Thank you.
It was nice. Yeah. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your Easter.
Enjoy your Easter.
Thank you. So I was at a truck show recently and one of my customers was telling me how he likes to use our touchless soaps through one of these things. I was thinking this can only work for taking a light, like very light amount of dirt off, I would imagine. And then he showed me some pictures and he was washing dirt off that was heavier than what's on this truck behind me here. And the results seemed really good. He said he just lets the stars and stripes dwell a little longer. And he said he has no issues on his polished aluminum doing that. And I thought, well, you know, we should investigate this. Maybe it'll be helpful for you guys. I don't sell these things. I have no like vested interest in them, but I think I am excited to try these because these are like a really cool concept. So I dropped a few bucks. This thing went for 500 bucks. It's their newest one that's like 2000 at 1.2, which is pretty good, but for some reason they always exaggerate the PSI. So, you know, we'll find out. We'll measure what this thing puts out. This one runs 600 PSI at 0.7 gallons per minute. So that's pretty slow. Maybe this will become a new form of pump sprayer for me. I don't know, but I'm excited to try it. Now I'm a Milwaukee guy, so you know I have all of the batteries for that. And to get into these don't come with the batteries. These use 40-volt batteries, and so that's an investment actually. So this one needs 2 batteries to run, and they're telling us that you're gonna get like, what did they say? Up to. They say on there how much time you can get out of it. I forget what they said for how much time you can get out of these, but you know, they always tell you the time you're gonna get out on the lowest output, and this has, I think, 3 different settings for how much power it's putting out. I'm gonna wanna run it full blast, so I'm anticipating we're getting 20 minutes of runtime out of a pair of 40-volt batteries on this thing. We'll find out for sure, but I think that the problem here is that because I'm gonna wanna run it continuously, I need 4 40-volt batteries and 2 chargers. So Ryobi sells the batteries in a 2-pack with a charger for $500, and I needed 2 of those. So I dropped like, I don't know, $1,700 or something on these. I don't know. I mean, if these work good, maybe I can like go out into the world and just power wash things without any sort of connections to anything. You know, I think that it's an interesting idea, and I'm excited to try them out. Let's pop these open and find out what the heck happens. So let's look at this one here first.
This guy and his tiny power washers.
So I'm not sure how to hook one of these up into a foam cannon yet, but we'll find out if it's feasible. This one comes with a really interesting nozzle though. Very proprietary connection there, so I'm probably not gonna be able to do much but use this. Honestly, I think this is gonna be really interesting. I'm tempted to run my heavy duty cleaner just straight through this thing and use it as a applicator for that. I bet it would be really useful. I believe this is a garden hose adapter. You know, you don't have to use it through the normal suction tube or through a soda bottle, but yeah, so you got a bunch of different pieces here. This must be, oh yeah, this is a 2-liter soda bottle attachment. I think that's really smart. And then you have this big, long, I don't know how long this tube is, but we'll find out. The giant strainer on the end. So you could dunk this into your swimming pool or something, and or a lake. We'll find out. Yeah. The 40-volt batteries are really big and really heavy, but they make them waterproof with this giant enclosure thing.
Hey!
Think this is gonna work, Conan?
Not in a million years.
They're nice connectors. I just wish that they could be normal, you know? It'd be nice if they were just normal quick connects or something so that we could do whatever we want. It appears that we can plug this straight on here. Oh, I don't know why I kind of like that. So we got this rotatable selector for the nozzles. Pretty cool, honestly. I think this is really nice. So Ryobi and Milwaukee are owned by the same parent company. So technically I might not really be violating my Milwaukee only standards. I wonder if I could paint this red. Man, it'd be cool if Milwaukee made stuff like this though. Even my knife is Milwaukee. Since we're washing a triaxle, I'm gonna want a longer lance. Awesome.
That can't be good.
Oh, you don't think so? This stuff ain't good for you anyway. Don't touch this stuff, it's corrosive. So in theory, I could mix up like a 10-to-1 mix of my degreaser in here and find out the hard way if it destroys this thing or not. That's what I'm really curious about. Coupling is a little bit flimsy for sure, and you can't get the battery in and out while this is hooked up. I feel like this adapter is gonna break on me. But I don't know if this is ideal anyway. There's a lot of weight here and the battery is heavy. It's heavy too. I mean, it's no wonder they gave you 2 grips for this thing. Once I put the battery and this thing's gonna weigh like 40 pounds. So I might use the draw tube. I could picture this being a lot more comfortable to use with a 5-gallon pail of water, but just for fun, we have to use the Dr. Pepper. All right, let's get the battery on this thing. This is what a $200 battery looks like. 6 amp hour, 40 volt lithium. I got a full charge on this guy. I'm really curious how long this will run. I bet this will power it up for a long time. I'm pretty sure you can run a riding lawnmower with these things. Yeah, this is like, we should put this thing on a scale and find out. It's pretty solid. Wonder if it needs to be primed. Oh, there it goes. All right, here we are. Normally I'd be scared about hurting Kona with the power washer, but it doesn't seem like this is gonna hurt her too much. Rinse. That was the 15 degree. It's like a little shower nozzle, except less pressure than your shower. All right, this is the turbo nozzle, Kona, watch out. What an interesting thing this is. I don't think you can select different power levels. I think you get what you get here. And I can't even hook up my pressure gauge to this thing because of all the proprietary nonsense on the nozzles. So we're just gonna have to use this as a form of pump sprayer, I think. Has a little bit of impact to it. I think I got about 1 minute out of this bottle, so that ain't gonna work. We're gonna definitely want to use the suction tube because this is too wonky. I mean, I love the gimmick of it, but it's a little too floppy for my taste, and it's heavier when you do it this way. So I think that we'll be rocking this thing with a 5-gallon pail full of whatever. And what I like is I could just plug in a 5-gallon pail of my degreaser. I think that we'll be using this as a form of pump sprayer. But I could see this being pretty useful. Like we could clean our bathroom with this thing or something. Let's get a 5-gallon pail for this and see if it feels any better using that. They have this clip on the tube here, which I imagine, oh yeah. I like the thought design behind this thing. All right, let's see if it'll prime the tube. This thing sounds horrible. It sounds like it's gonna implode on itself. At least I don't have to worry about hurting her. We got a leak coming out of the nozzle already. Okay, it's getting better, or not.
Wasn't me.
What are we doing? We gotta try this thing out. I'm excited to just see what we can knock off of this. We got some heavy dirt we can experiment with real quick, and then we'll open up the big one. So our rule today is that we are only going to use these cordless Ryobis to clean this triaxle. It's going to be a challenge. There's going to be a little bit of hands-on here. This is not going to be a successful touchless wash. I can't even imagine that it will be. We'll have to see. We've got a lot of asphalt here. We're going to have to break that loose. There's just some really heavy stuff on this thing. I'm going to go through this process, but you know, I'm not telling you that you should. I don't know that you're going to want to spend this much effort on something. You know, you just want to watch it and get it done. So I've come into this with just from a perspective of curiosity. I didn't really anticipate that this would be able to fully do all the washing, but I had a backup plan of using this as my pump sprayer for applying degreasers. And I think that might be interesting. I wish that I could hook up a foam cannon to this thing. I mean, I was really counting on that. It's well made, it's built really nice, but when you're using it, it just feels like a toy. Let's open up the next one. One interesting way to find out the actual output of something when you're looking at gallons per minute and PSI, what you really want to do is multiply the gallons per minute by the pressure, and that'll give you cleaning units. So 600 times 0.7 is 420 cleaning units on that little guy. This one's running 2,000 at 1.2, which is 2,400 cleaning units. So that's what you're gonna feel when you're using it. That's the overall output of the thing. It looks like this one will be able to take a normal nozzle, which means I should be able to get in there with a pressure gauge and actually read what it's putting out, unlike the proprietary nonsense on that guy. Because for some reason, these PSI ratings are always like double the real actual number. I don't know why they do that. If they just told you what it really put out, it would be so much nicer. Oh, man. I might be able to plug in my pressure gauge on these. I have adapters for those. so we can actually read what this thing puts out. Kind of like the colors. I just wish it was red like Milwaukee. So same exact tube to go from this thing into the pail. Kind of cool, because I guess I could just unplug the other one and reuse that one. It comes with a bunch of stuff. Got a turbo nozzle. Looks like a oh, you know what this is? An adapter to go from the garden hose inlet to the cordless tube thing. We're definitely gonna wanna use that. I have never seen a plastic sober nozzle before. I hate that. Okay, so 15-degree nozzle, self-priming adapter. Okay, so the handle goes in here. This thing locks on there. We're gonna put our adapter to go into our tube so that we can just plug this guy in like that. It is really a shame that Milwaukee isn't making these, since they're literally owned by the same company. I mean, man, to have to drop $1,000 on batteries. Ugh. Hey, I guess it'll run on one battery. Let's see if we can prime it. It is not priming. We're gonna have to throw some water into this thing. We're gonna use the adapter from the handheld version to go from garden thread into quick connect into garden hose again. I made up about 30 adapters here to get into my quick disconnect pressure gauge. We're adapting this over to 22 millimeter. I'm not sure if this is 14 or 15 on the inside as far as the millimeter. I think it's 14, but I'm probably wrong. So we're getting about 1700 PSI at the 2000 PSI setting. Let's put it on the 1500 PSI setting. Getting about 1300 at the 1500 PSI setting. And about 800 PSI at the lowest setting. This actually feels pretty good. It's actually a surprising amount of pressure. I could see getting some work done with this, and I'm sure it'll run a foam cannon, and we can plug that on the end here. So far, this is certainly more appropriate for washing down a big rig out in the field. So let's find out the gallons per minute real quick. We'll time it over the course of 1 minute and see how much water we get out. So I think we're getting 1.2 gallons per minute, and we're getting pretty close. I mean, what was that, 1750 on the PSI? That's pretty good. This thing rips. I'm actually really surprised how well this works. I'm pretty happy with that, and I think the handheld version, the little guy, that'll be my pump sprayer. We'll put soap straight through the small one, and then we'll rinse with this one. Or, you know, maybe we'll also foam with this thing. I bet this thing's gonna foam good. One thing I'm noticing too is that it's really quiet. I mean, it does say Whisper series right on the front, so I guess that makes sense. But it is very, very nice, and I am digging it. All right, we're gonna knock the mud off on this side. So we've used one 5-gallon pail so far. We're gonna keep track of how many refills. Let's put the foams on here and see how it washes touchless. These are the powdered Stars and Stripes versions that I've been developing. So we're just gonna continue testing them today. So far the foam quality seems a lot better than my liquid version. And I think in my final designs here, now that MTM Hydro's coming out with their wide mouth foam cannons, I'm gonna probably change these valves out for the wider kind. These nozzles here, I'd like to see how these work. I think they'll probably be a lot faster. Just realized I want to do an experiment. On this side, I'm gonna pre-rinse all the heavy stuff off, and I'm not gonna pre-rinse anything on the other side. We did do that little section on the springs here on the other side, but that's the only spot we hit over there. Refill number 4 coming up. Batteries are going strong, looks like though. All right, this is the moment of truth. How does it run a foam cannon? Oh, it's not primed. It's got to find itself. Hang on. One thing that might help a lot when you're using a really small power washer is a little bit of longer dwell time. So normally I would go right back over it again, but I'm just giving it a minute. I'll be interested to see how this works on the other side without the pre-rinse. They're definitely doing their thing. You can see all the stuff that's melting out of there. Foam is definitely running brown. Normally this foam would be a lot better on a larger machine. Like it would be thicker, much thicker than this. But this is still on there and it's doing its thing, you know? Boy, we are for real melting some junk off of this thing. That is definitely doing the job. I should have let this dry and show you guys what everything looks like when you just power wash it. Because a lot of people tell me that the power washer's doing all the work, and I tell them that they're right. Power washer's doing like 90–95% of it. It's just that last 5% that you're getting with the soap. And that last 5% makes it look either acceptable or unacceptable. See how our batteries are doing. Oh boy. Well, we're not looking like much juice left. I could feel that there was a little bit of a lessening of intensity with that thing. All right, time to swap in the backup batteries. We'll see if they are charged by the time I need to swap them again. I feel like you get maybe 20 minutes maybe. You're only saving the power cord. So I'm not sure if $1,000 worth of batteries is worth it or not. We're gonna have to steal the battery out of that worthless drill one over there too. Refill number 6. We're not even done with half this truck yet. The foam got better when I put the fresh batteries in there, which makes sense because it's running a little bit stronger. But I'm using a lot more soap than I normally would because I'm spending so much time waiting for it to get on there for the amount that I like. You know, I think the foam cannon's still drawing at the same rate. It's just not putting it on there as good as a bigger machine would. We should fire up the 110 volt Ryobi that I have, the $99 one. I feel like I remember that thing making better foam. Doesn't like running out of water, that's for sure.
It is pretty cool that I can use it one-handed though.
We're going to need a bigger water container. Time to get serious. Hopefully this cart can hold 500 pounds because when this is full it gets pretty heavy. Check this out, they actually tell you right here, 20:1 soap dilution out of that. That's pretty neat. Let's take a peek at the results. We're starting to see some stuff dry now. I'll tell you what, it doesn't look like it's any cleaner. Look at that. I feel like under here it got dirtier. It looks worse. Look at all the chalkiness on the paint. I don't understand what's going on. It's like we didn't get off the junk. We didn't get it off there. I mean, it's on there pretty good. I mean, we're probably asking too much of that little Ryobi, but that's no bueno. You can just barely tell right here, but I hit harder with the PSI right here than I did right here. That's the problem with a 15-degree nozzle, those yellow tip nozzles, and unfortunately this doesn't come with a green tip nozzle. I don't think the other 110 volt Ryobi that I have does either. When you have a machine this small, they have to squeeze the pattern down to have any impact. So you can't get that nice wide pattern. And that really sucks for vehicle washing, because when you have a 15-degree pattern and you're trying to clean the surface with the power washer instead of by hand, it's very hard to get complete coverage on everything. And you miss spots and you get these stripes. On this though, nothing came clean. I mean, that just looks the same as it did before. All the same runs are in there. So there's different levels of dirt as well. Some places have more difficult dirt to remove than others. Around here, I normally have very good success with these soaps rinsing off these kinds of vehicles that are going into the environments they're going into up here. I think that we just don't have the impact of that machine that we need. You know, it's like people say, the power washer is doing most of the work. If I were to use my big power washer on this, it would still look pretty rough if I just used the water, but I can get this better with my real power washer, I think. Let's hit up the engine compartment with our infinite amount of water now and see if it does anything good in there. But judging by the rest of it, I do not have high hopes. We got nothing off of this. This is remarkable. So take a close look at this wheel. I haven't hit this yet. I mean, we rinsed it with water. I'm curious now if the soaps will at least take it a little further, because it doesn't look that dirty. These spigots here do not have the ability to adjust once they're tightened. So I've heard that these are kind of a pain, because sometimes they might be aiming straight up or something like that. But they should be a lot faster. Let's see how fast this goes. Oh, I like that. That's kind of a big perk. That almost went too quick. Yeah, these little guys, I had these ones for that tiny opening on the PF22 before, but now that we got the wide mouth bottles on everything, we can do that. It's pretty nice to have that work faster. I like that. Okay, we're gonna put the soaps on here, hit them hard, see if we can get this wheel looking acceptable or not. Again, I normally don't even let them dwell. Normally I just come back right at it and rip away at it. But I feel like this power washer needs all the help it can get, so we're just letting it sit here. I used a ton of soap just on this wheel. Sometimes I think that Venturi nozzles, like the injectors inside of a foam cannon or a downstream injector, or even our big Real Deal injectors and all those ones, I feel like Venturis just draw faster and draw more chemical in when they're at a lower gallon per minute. More soap is not always better. I mean, you can certainly see it's on there strong with all the brown stuff running off the wheels, but you don't necessarily need to go that hard, and it didn't really help us on the bed of this thing. I'll tell you what though, I love the fit and finish of this thing, but I don't know, I'm really tempted to use my normal power washer, because we need this to look good, you know, I can't give it back to him looking like this. Sure does look good wet, doesn't it? We'll see how this area dries. So my plan was to use that thing on this side and see if it had any difference. It may clean better if it goes on there, but I don't really think that I feel like using it. I mean, this is taking me all day. At a certain point, you might as well just be washing it with a garden hose. I mean, I feel like I'd almost rather show you what the foams are supposed to look like through the foam cannons, how much we use on this side, and how the results come out with my real power washer. Hopefully it's better. Maybe this thing's just really hammered. I don't know. You know, I have a lot of customers tell me that this stuff works really well for them on their smaller machines. I just don't understand how. The results I'm getting are like abysmal. So I would recommend that you have at least 2.5 gallons per minute, so you are saving time, and probably at least 2,000 PSI. I mean, we have 2,000 PSI there, but 1.2 gallons per minute is so slow. The goal with these soaps is to save you time, not cost you time. And we're not even saving money. I'm into those machines for like $1,700. Let's bring our cordless 600-pound setup around the corner here. We'll try and use it on one little corner back there just to see if it's any different if we don't pre-rinse. You know, I don't know how much longer I can stand doing this. I think that this thing is pretty cool. It's got a lot of nice fit and finish. It seems to hit pretty hard for what it is, but I think that, you know, if you don't have a garden hose or a 110 volt outlet, maybe this would be useful. Like if you're trying to clean maybe the inside of your boat at a dock. That seems like what this is for. Dump the tube into the lake, let it rip. I could see that, but for what we're doing, I don't know. And obviously, if you're trying to do this on the go, which is what I'm experimenting with here, like if you're trying to prep your own truck when you go to a truck show, when you get there, I mean, how are you gonna bring a 55-gallon drum of water around with you? Trucks like this, you know, they haul a lot of material, but not really. Like in the cab, there's no room barely for anything. Barely even just for that power washer alone, never mind the water. I don't think this is gonna work. Anyway, we'll find some use for this thing. I do love the fit and finish of this though. Like it's just, you know, they have nice buttons on there. I love the graphics. The materials feel nice. You know, this piece is destined to fail for sure. But I don't know, it's kind of a neat little thing. I like how quiet it is. We're gonna have to hook up my little 110 volt Ryobi real quick and just see how it runs the foam cannon. Because I remember it working a lot better than this is running on. So let's just see what happens. So this is the one that I used on that excavator degreasing a little while back. I'm really curious now to see what goes on here. All I want to see is how is the foam on this, and it's because I remember it being really good. So I'm really just kind of wanting to spray some foam out real quick and find out. Yeah, I mean, I remembered correctly. This is way better. That's strange, because that little guy doesn't put out as much pressure, and it's the same GPM. Why is that looking better? Boy, that sincerely makes no sense to me. I know that the battery-operated one is running at like double the PSI. Sometimes the power washing world is confusing, I don't know. But we'll definitely have to wash this side again. This is like as bad as I've ever seen. I've never seen such bad results. This is what it looks like when you don't use soap at all. Boy, I've had some dumb ideas in my time, but this one might take the cake, man. Most expensive dumb idea I've ever had. Let's just do like this wheel up to here, and then we'll use my normal power washer on the right side. You know, I don't know, maybe my batteries were dying when I was foaming last time, because I did do all that pre-rinsing first, and this looks a bit better. Man, I don't know, maybe I take it back, I don't know. This foam doesn't look as good as it's supposed to. So this is the more foamy soap right now as far as this powdered version goes that I'm using. So I don't understand why it's not foaming as much as the Stars side right now. I don't get it. That took probably like the same amount of time as I would take with my normal machine doing this whole side. It's just so slow, you know, 1.2 gallons per minute. All that means is it's 1/3 the speed of something that's 3.5 gallons per minute. All right, that's enough of this. Let's get real. This is my real power washer. This is 3,500 PSI at 3.5 gallons per minute. Let's do this. Let's try these cannons in this area. And then I'm gonna switch gears to my Color Shock foams, which are gonna be the new liquid version of Stars and Stripes eventually. So I used a lot less soap and got it on there a lot faster. Let's try this one out. That took me 1/50th the time. The foam is way better. I mean, this is what I want to see. I want to see it looking all like it's thick, you know? That's what I like. You hear how thick it is. I just can't believe how expensive it is to get into those Ryobis though once you get the battery system. I think those are really only for very specific instances. I really think it's specifically made for people who want to rinse out their boat at the dock or while on the ocean. I think that's what those are for. Man, I was starting to hate my life for a minute there. Now I'm getting my joy back. Oh man, that's so much better. Whoa, I couldn't have done that for another minute. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with those Ryobi machines, man. Maybe we could like waterproof our bathroom and use it to clean the toilet. All right, so now that we know that our soaps aren't broken, let's get the other soap tested up real quick. So the foams that I've been using are the powdered form of Stars and Stripes that I'm working on right now. I'm gonna release those next. And then right behind that, we're gonna release the new liquid version, and that is extremely blue and extremely red. So these are them right here, and I'm gonna use this injector. This is already set to the Stars side. But anyway, the interesting thing about the color foam is that it's not just dye, it's pH indicator. So they turn brown and purple when they mix. Don't let it fool you. It's not the dirt and iron that's coming off the thing, but it does seem like it. It makes you feel like something's happening. I like that. Main thing is you can tell if you missed a spot or if you're on the first step or the second step without really going back to the valve to look. Okay, we're getting more and more streamlined. So now on this lance, this is my foam cannon right here. So all the soap is injected back at the source, and all I have to do is turn this way to turn it on and off.
I imagine you can probably see the blue in there.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty blue. I'm just debating if we need to put more blue and more red in there or if it's good. It's pretty clearly blue. I don't know. I mean, in real life here, it certainly is obvious to me. That's pretty blue. I think we might be good.
All right, so now I switch it over to the stripes side. Yeah, I guess it's kind of subtle, but you can see it in there, especially in the runoff. So it creates like this sort of like a unicorn, I call it unicorn purple and brown. It's subtle. I don't know. Maybe we need to put more color in there. Maybe we could. But it is pretty fun. I like it. Just a sort of a helpful thing, because when you're using our Real Deal injector, it's hard to know which soap you're on if you forget what you're set on at the valve. Now you just know. And I think it's pretty useful. We got to see how it cleans too. Make sure it's just as good as the powdered. If you guys are up in Canada, just a friendly reminder, we have Rob up at Large Car Truck Spa set up as a relay for us. So if you go to his website, you can actually get the same pricing and delivered within Canada. We just get it over the border to him and have all the flat rate tariffs and stuff, all the processing fees that go into that. That all gets squared away right at the border in bulk, and that way you're not paying those processing fees in small orders, which makes them exorbitantly expensive. So check them out, largecartruckspa.com. Smart, I would have done this section with the last section, but I'm not. You might be able to see the purple reaction a little better in this light with the door in front of me here. On my screen on the camera, it doesn't look like anything, but maybe in the video it will. Definitely very obvious in real life, but maybe it could be more obvious, you know? Alright, so this is looking like it's cleaning up alright. This area was pretty easy. It's really underneath the frame behind the rear drive wheels. It's a real hassle. I'm probably gonna have to get in there with some heavy duty and maybe a little scrubbing with one of those tank brushes with the bristles that go all the directions. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this all dries so we can see what everything looks like. I think it's gonna come out pretty good though. It's quite a difference here. I have a lot of customers who tell me that they use smaller power washers with Stars and Stripes, and they always seem happy, which is strange. I don't really understand how that's possible. I feel like maybe this is just too much of a project. I think if you were washing a normal vehicle with normal dirt on it, maybe it would work all right. But man, if you're washing this, you know, I wouldn't waste your time with like a little tiny power washer. So I'm gonna re-hit this side with my reel machine just to make it look right. We're gonna leave this wheel alone because I think we might have a chance of that drying okay after the Ryobi. It seems like it did a pretty good job. And I'm gonna leave this side of the engine so we can look at it dry. But let's fix this area here just so that it looks right in the morning.
All right, it's the next morning. Everything's dried off. Let's see what we didn't get clean. Kona, come take a peek at this and let me know what you think.
Oh, this is exciting. Never mind, it's more like depressing. This is gonna need a lot more work.
What do you think we need to do?
This is going to need heavy duty, real strong.
Yep.
With a brush.
Yeah, we got to get hands on. I didn't even bother washing the back of this yesterday because I could see how it was going even while it was wet. What's crazy is this still didn't get any cleaner hitting it again with my big power washer. It got a little bit better where I really hammered it. Like the pressure did help because I remember getting in to try and get this stain out like real tight. I was in about this far from the surface with my big power washer and that did get it clean, but not entirely because that stain is still there. It just got that film off from around the edges of it. I mean, it is pretty clean right there. I'm like, that's as clean as it's probably gonna get with our touchless stuff. So what's fascinating is when you go around the other side where we did the side-by-side with the big power washer and the Ryobi here, there is literally no difference from where we did the Ryobi to where we did my big power washer. They both look equally garbage. So we're seeing a limitation of my soap system here more than the power washer, which is good news for the Ryobi. Sometimes the touchless soaps are not gonna take you all the way there. I think that maybe this has been sitting with the dirt on it for too long. I don't know when the last time this was washed was, but the paint did not clean up very well. Even if you look in the frame here, it's hard to even imagine that this is a 2023 because this stuff ain't coming out. I mean, it is like absolutely just got this strange powder on it everywhere. This is where we bust out the heavy duty. We're gonna have to spray it on good and strong and brush it around, get real physical with this thing. It's very unfortunate. I'm wondering if I'm even gonna have the time to get onto the inside of the cab of this thing because it's Easter Sunday right now. We have like dinner and stuff later on today. I've got a dentist appointment tomorrow mid-morning, then they're coming to pick this thing up. So I got a hustle here. Bunch of scratches in the hood too. It'd be nice to compound this out and buff it. And I got some deep scratches on this. I have an idea. I think what we'll do is we'll use the little Ryobi gun to apply our heavy duty as if it were a pump sprayer. And then we'll use the soap tank on this one over here to apply heavy duty at 20-to-1 as a wash, a hardcore wash, you know, just something heavy to get it better. Because look underneath here, this thing needs a lot. I mean, and I hit this actually pretty hard with my big machine. I don't know what it is, but this paint is not releasing stuff. How is this a 2023? I don't understand. This thing is like, I guess it's been around for maybe, I guess it's 2024. Maybe they bought it at the end of 2022 or something. I don't know. Have they ever washed it? So the wheels, you know, one thing I noticed here, the Ryobi didn't get the stain of dirt out of the tire as well as my larger machine did. But even my larger machine was not totally acceptable wherever I didn't hit as hard, so it's just going to need some physical scrubbing. And what really concerns me is the aluminum, because that's going to need a polish. There's some seriously deep pitting in there, probably from, I don't know, the salt up here or something. I'm not sure. Who knows what it was. These are Durabrites, so these will clean up with the heavy duty. The tires will clean up with that. The paint will clean up with that. But the aluminum on this thing needs to be polished out. It's not really, it could be better, and that's going to take a little bit of time. All of the aluminum has this pitting in it. At least it's clean and we can start working on polishing, but that's gonna take some serious effort. It needs to be polished on that tank over there. It needs to be polished on these steps here. We need to get hands-on with the frame. We have more steps over here and these are all pitted to heck. And then we have this big tank here. And all of it has that pitting in there. So at least we have it clean and we can start working on getting this better. At this point, I just have to debate, do I wanna polish first and then work on the cleaning? Or do I wanna clean and then work on wet aluminum? Technically, it'd be better to do the polishing last, I think. You know what I think we should do? I think we should hit it first with the heavy duty and get it cleaner. Then we can polish it and then we'll rinse off any residue and we coat it with snake oil. So let's keep on working with this. I'm a little bit excited to work with this thing again today. I don't know what it is about it. I hated my life yesterday using it and I still am excited to use it today. There's just something interesting about this concept and I just want to play with it more. But one thing I am going to do is I'm going to swap out the gun for one of these. I threw a 22mm screw coupler end on it. I think this will be better for the work I'm doing today. So let's play around with it and see how it goes.
And now we got a swivel on here, so that should be a little nicer at least. Normally I use heavy duty here at 100-to-1 to the panel on the vehicle, but we'll use 20-to-1 on this because it looks like it's really rough stuff. And for our smaller Ryobi sprayer, we're just gonna go straight up and pump this out pure. This left handle here does nothing. All of the weight sits in your right hand. The battery's so heavy, this body of this is heavy. I don't know if it can be set down with this on here. Okay, I got my D-Lime 90 citrus in here. We're gonna use it to start melting down all of this asphalt on the back here. And we'll throw it on the rims because we have a bunch of millings in there that need to go so that we can get it all the way clean. And this is the kind of thing you put on before you put on heavy duty because you want to rinse this with a good strong soap. It's an oil. No real millings on the front 4 tires, but just in these ones. All right, this was about half full. Still got a little drip in there, but we got pretty good coverage out of that. That wasn't too bad. And there it goes. All right, we'll start washing down the rest of the truck while this thing soaks in. I think it'll come out pretty good. I think heavy duty at 20-to-1 with a little agitation on it, that'll do it. This coupling is unnecessarily difficult to get into place. It's a little more wieldy. I just wish I could set this down. I think I'm gonna end up using the pickup tube off of this instead, but we'll see. It's empty. Right, this ain't gonna work. We're gonna have to use the suction tube and go straight out of the pail. Oh. All right. For frames, I like to use these tank brushes. They're kind of perfect because they scrub everything around them. You don't have to aim them. So we'll get underneath there with this. You know what? I'm a total dummy. This thing goes up. Why don't I get this thing out of the way? I have no way of supporting this thing, so what I'm going to do is not go underneath it. I'm just gonna stay out here and use a pole to reach the things I need to scrub. Man, why did I open this thing up and look under here? Look at all the stuff that I'm not able to clean. I'm not gonna have time for all this. All right, we're gonna put this plastic nozzle on the end of here and try 20-to-1 for this. We'll see. I mean, it's just something to wet it down and scrub around with. Pattern isn't very good on this one. I wonder if a normal soap nozzle would do better. This is a real brass one. At least it spreads it out a little bit, you know? What is this stuff? So I'm using this extension pole and the tank brush so that I don't have to put my dumb head underneath this thing. You don't want to put your trust in hydraulics. Would you look at that? I mean, how about it? They thought of us and our safety. This is a lot less stressful now. So upon further thought, it might be worthwhile to go even beyond the norm here and just use my heated power washer and a turbo nozzle. I think that might save me a lot of time, and we don't have the time. Yep, that's what we gotta do. All right, Ryobi, it's been fun, but this is out of the league. I did that excavator with that 110 volt Ryobi in the last spring. The difference here is I was able to spend 7 days on that excavator, and I only really have today to get this thing clean, so we must use the proper tools. We cannot be playing around today. I'm gonna hook up my hot water machine over here, and all I have to do is run my garden hose out to it. It has to be vented outside. You don't want the thing fuming out in here. And then I just need one 50-foot hose that'll plug into this injector so I can use these soaps if I want, and that'll connect me into my nice hose inside here. So that'll be a pretty good shortcut for me. I'm testing out this Cobra Jet hose from Veloci, and we're using the Prima fittings that they started manufacturing themselves right here in America. These things work real nice. It's cool to see the best quality quick coupler I've ever used come out of the USA. I love that. I'm in full support of that. And their pricing is not bad. They've been able to streamline it quite a bit. So I think I'm going to start featuring these exclusively on my website. This is the solution. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. My hot water machines also have an auto time down feature, just like my wall-mounted normal one right here, which is nice. It's not just sitting over there cranking. Let's try heavy duty as hot foam, going on at 100 to 1, just to get things a little loose, and then we'll rinse it with the turbo nozzle. So I'm just gonna snap this foamer on to the end of this normal gun that I use here, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. I just set my burner to about 140 degrees. Make sure I clear the coil out if there's any coil scale in there. That'll keep my foamer from getting clogged up. Put it on there, rock and roll, and you're gonna activate your soaps by at least 50%, so it gets a lot more work done. I grabbed a little pack of restriction butils for my injector. These injectors come with this, but if you look all the way to the bottom, the strongest one is the 2.0 tip. That runs 10%. 10% would technically be 9 to 1. Just slide out the one we have. I use the 0.7 normally for 100 to 1. Take our stronger tip, slide that in, and we're good to go. So we're clearing the stars out of that soap line there. And man, at this percentage, it sure does look colorful, doesn't it? A little bit of the stripes was over there. A little high pH soap came out, and then they mixed. You can see the purple in the middle there in between. Pretty interesting. Nice thick foam too. So I mean, you know, one thing we could have done here, and maybe we should do, is use stars and stripes stronger. Well, let's start off with the degreasing of the frame. We know we need heavy duty for that. Maybe we'll try and do another touchless wash once we get the frame rails and engine compartment cleaned up. Boy, that hot foam sure is cool. I should do this more often. This thing is absolutely killer. All right, that's the strongest this injector will put it on there. And we're using a little bit. We went from here to here. I've been foaming for 5 or 10 minutes. If it does what we need it to, then it's worth it. And it's on the polished aluminum, but it's not gonna make more work for us. I'm gonna have to hold on to that turbo nozzle attachment with both hands, so I'll have to wait till Tyler gets here to run the camera for me. That way you guys can get a good view of the action. Kona thinks that this is a big improvement because now our footage is going to come out all right.
Right?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good, man. I'm using hot foam. You want to see?
Oh yeah, of course.
All right, so turbo nozzle etiquette. Always fire them up straight down. I mean, we don't need to use this. We have a real one. This is ours, so I think that we'll use this one. This one's more rated for the impact. I'm so sorry you chose to wear white today, bro.
Yeah, my Ralph Lauren, man, my little jumpsuit, man.
Damn, man.
You liking it?
I feel really good about that.
Yeah.
Look at it. You can really tell that these wheels are clean, even while they're wet. They're still like pretty good looking. There's still a little bit of residue on it, but it's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Compared to what it was. Yeah, there's some really hardcore film on that. I wonder if it's still dirty. It might be.
I mean, there's really no ending with this, you know?
Yeah, it's just a slight little, like, smudge, like if something ran down it.
Yeah, it's like baked in, man. We may have no choice but to throw some heavy duty on there and like scrub around with the mitt as far as the paint goes.
Yeah, I mean, if you try everything else, it's not a bad idea at the end, just to throw it in there.
Well, let's finish the hood and the cab up front.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll just bust out some heavy duty and a mitt and just physically scrub it real quick. Just because we want to take it all the way. Once you get past all this stuff though, then you can actually keep it good if you do this kind of wash like every week or every other week. But you can see up here, it's not very clean. See that?
Yeah.
Whatever that is, our soap is not able to take that off. No matter what, bro.
Yeah,
We got closer, but not close enough. Oh yeah, see where it's drying over here? All that junk is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs the contact, man.
Just like a weird little coating, yeah.
I was just trying to see what we could do. I was hoping we could get it, but I think we'll just have to bust up physical scrubbing. Now that it's drying, you can still see some of the stuff that was in there before. See all that was stuff that was running out right here?
Yeah.
I don't know if M-Shine will get that, but we'll try it. Hopefully that and a little physical agitation will get that all the way. I don't even know if we should bother with like finishing stars and stripes on the front. If we have to foam it and wipe it down anyway, we just foam it down right now with heavy duty, start brushing it, and see if that helps. No more messing around. We have wasted enough time trying and failing. Now we do it the traditional way. If I had gone straight to this yesterday, we'd be able to detail everything proper, you know? But I had to find out. We'll take just a little bit of M-Shine in here while we're here and just mist this in here to help us a little. And hopefully this will just take a little bit of the previous staining that was in there out. Gives us a chance to get any of the last residual bit of millings out of there with some scrubbing. Yeah, these are Durabrite rims, so we're not cleaning the aluminum, we're cleaning a coating that's on the aluminum.
Would it damage the aluminum if it was like raw aluminum?
No, M-Shine would help remove oxidation from aluminum, make it look a little bit better for sure, but it still works on Durabrites to help get any junk that's on them off of there. So I always rinse bottom to top when I'm doing touchless washes because I'm not rinsing it, I'm cleaning it, so working upwards helps with that. But when you're hand washing something, you always rinse top down because it's faster. There's no need to rinse it bottom up at that point. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can tell, oh, that's all the way. Yeah, it'll still have some stuff like here probably where you really gotta get in. We'll wait till it's totally dry to make sure before we put on our snake oil. I wasn't really pushing that hard on the other side, maybe in case it doesn't dry okay over there, I'm just gonna push like as hard as I can over here. We're gonna get it, bro. Funny how we have these time-saving solutions that cost us so much time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? And we're over here doing this anyway.
It's gotta be the right conditions.
It's gotta be the right conditions, man. I was bent on getting that result from Touchless as much as we could. I'm really curious to find out when the last time they washed this was, because I bet it's been a minute. I mean, I told them a little while ago I wanted it dirty, so I got what I asked for. I want to give those Ryobis another shot on a normal vehicle, or maybe even something big like this, but just something that's, you know, it's been normally maintained. It's been maybe a week or two. So I think those things are kind of cool. And I've heard our stuff works really well. I was doing a podcast with Martin from Belleville Auto Spa last night, and he was telling me he's tried a bunch of different stuff on the market that's touchless, the two-step stuff. And he said ours is the only one that seems to work on a low power machine, on like a car. Full speed. I can't believe I'm not there yet. It's been like 5 minutes. This is for that one person in the comments who says we don't handle the roofs. There's some serious asphalt up here, man. You hear that? Take some of these big chunks of asphalt out of our material here just in case. I can't believe, dude, we're cleaning the other side of the roof here. This is nice. We have one extra section. These Midata sticks have extra sections available, so we have one extra one in there, and I think it's pretty handy. Dude, all the way. One time up on the roof. end of day 2, and I think we might have got it. What do you think? Right? We get it?
I think so too. I think it's looking good, man.
Looking all right. Man, I could have saved a lot of time.
Now you know.
Now I know. Well, you know what we haven't done yet is the back. Still didn't do the back.
Oh yeah.
This thing just keeps on going. Yeah, just gotta wipe this around real quick. So for the back, instead of messing up our nice Chanel mitt, we'll use this thing. This is for beating on. And this is a better fit anyway for getting in like these areas. See how nice that is, man?
Yeah, the tank brush.
The tank brush is
Never fails.
king. Talk about a useful tool, man.
That thing extends, right?
Yeah, so we can have it help us reach things. Now, brush I wouldn't normally use on painted surfaces, but this is a little bit different than that. This is hammered anyway. For real this time, we're 100% there. We're never touching it again. Maybe we can do snake oil in the morning after I spend the night on this thing. I need to get it like clean as possible before snake oil, and I'd like to hit the cab because I'm gonna at least blow the junk out the floor and try to tidy it up a little bit for them. I mean, I'm gonna do my best tonight on the inside, but that's gonna blow dust all over everything, and then when we do snake oil after everything, that'll at least rinse that off. So heavy duty will strip any sealants or any sort of water sheeting the paint has. And so we're seeing the water just staying on there. And you look at the body, it's all just staying on there. So, you know, it'll dry, but I like to see the water fall off, you know. So we'll get back to this with snake oil at the last step, and that'll all be resolved. Okay, I'm back and this thing is all dried off. Let's see what we've got. It's Easter Sunday, so me and the team just had a nice dinner, and it was a good time. And it gave this thing a chance to dry. But now it's 9 o'clock at night and I'm leaning on this stuff here. Did you know that apparently this has 2.5 times the caffeine of Red Bull? I just found that out. So we gotta hit up this. So I'm gonna make this thing go all the way. There's no way around it. I'm not gonna let it slide. I'm just gonna stay here till it gets done. It's about 9 o'clock right now, and we'll see what time it is when we actually finish, because I gotta clean out the cab. I'm gonna empty it, take out the floor mats, just hit it real quick because it doesn't need a lot. Just some light dirt and stuff, very minimal, so it's not going to be very difficult to hit that anyway. Once I flush all that mess out, I'll blast these off with whatever dust is on there, and then we can get to polishing. Polishing is going to be the hard part, so I'm going to use a combination of hand polishing and machine polishing with a cutting wheel, and so that'll make my life a little easier. A lot of the pitting in here is going to be I think it would be very difficult to get by hand. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but like the metal polish that we're developing, the first one we're developing is a finish cut. It's not really ideal for, you know, heavy work. As far as the results go, man, I think we got it, but even scrubbing it, it still has some stuff left over. But that's where the awesome sauce might save us. I was able to finally get off all that film. I think it might have been like, I wonder if it was like lime scale or something like that. Whatever it was practically bulletproof, and even putting a mitt to it didn't really fully take it all the way there. Like you can see here where I was dragging my mitt across it, it's pretty obvious that that's still dirty, at least from what I can see right here. So awesome sauce on the whole body, and you know, just tune-ups in general. The frame is even still pretty dirty, even after hitting it with heat and a turbo nozzle. I mean, it don't look like I want. I don't know what that stuff is. I have never had a truck fight me this hard. So what we're gonna have to do is, on those little Ryobi machines, I like the bigger one, the dual 40-volt battery one. I just kind of think it's fun. There's something about it that I like. So I'm gonna keep playing with that, and we'll give it another fair shake with a less crazy project. But so something about the form factor and at least eliminating the 110 volts going to it just makes it a little easier. I would probably normally hook it up with a garden hose. I definitely won't be doing this kind of thing here. I just wanted to see what it was like to be completely unattached. But don't buy this one here. That's a garbage piece right there. I don't even know. There's no point to that. This thing doesn't even hit as hard as your normal garden hose would. I don't even know why they made that. I mean, how did that make it to the market? It's so bad. You would think it'd be bad for their reputation. But the bigger one I like. It hits reasonably hard. It's pretty cool that it's, you know, battery operated. I like it. But for the amount of money the batteries cost, I think maybe you should just get a gas powered machine. All right, let's start on the cab. I don't think the interior will be too bad. It's just gonna be a quick wipe down in here. We can just leave that there. It's late and I'm not getting paid. Let's get this thing wiped out real fast. So I forgot to press the record button, but I'll tell you what, we got some serious dirt out there real quick. So quick you couldn't even see it. I wish you could have seen this thing in action. It was amazing. Man, we just blasted out that cab in like 1 minute. That was fast. I've been hearing that these things might seize up. This little spinner. So apparently you want to keep this thing lubed up and clean, but I'm not going to do that. I want to find out how fast it'll die in the worst case scenario. Nothing bugs me more than forgetting to press record, because once that dirt's gone, it's over. I'm gonna throw the green tea scent on this thing. A little bit better. I'm really bad at cleaning glass. Let me tell you something. I need to like Google how to clean glass. Just gonna hit the door jambs real quick. We're talking about something good here. This is looking a lot nicer. Thank you.
Nice. Enjoy your Easter.
All right, it's 11 o'clock at night.
Thank you.
Nice. And we're gonna start the crash course on how to polish aluminum. Now, I'm not trying to teach you anything. I'm hoping maybe you guys can tell me. I've never really done this before. I was down at a truck show recently and I bumped into Zephyr Polishes down there. They have a bunch of good solutions. I was playing with this on a test piece of aluminum that I keep here for working on with my soaps, and I'm pretty sure this is the first cut because it feels pretty stiff. They have some instructions, but they don't really say which wheel is which color. So the primary cut seems to be, this seems to be the first pass, this seems to be the second, and this seems to be the third. This one and this one seem to go together. I mean, all I'm going by is how stiff these are. This one feels pretty stiff. This one feels much softer, and this one feels softer than that. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna use this one first, and then this one, and then this one. I mean, we've got some pretty serious pitting on this aluminum here. And from what I'm seeing from different videos on YouTube and whatever, generally you start with some like actual sanding before you even get into this stuff. So I have some pretty deep scratches in there, but at the same time, it can only come out better than it is. I'm just gonna start at it and see what we can get done. I might regret it later. Maybe I won't be able to get out all the deep stuff. But there is some pretty deep scratches in this. I got this thing, it's called a rake. So you use that to like clean out your buffing pad every few passes maybe. I don't know. Never been a better time to bust out my new stool. Check this thing out. Grab this thing from Obsessed Garage. Man, does that roll like a dream. It rolls too good. It rolls right into my drains and into the vehicle every time. Then I got this crazy creeper. Viper chairs, that's what they're called. Very, very cool. So I'm excited to sit on this thing. So I have one of these already. And I have a feeling that this is a pretty important facet of doing metal polishing. I'm probably gonna look like a coal miner by the time we're done here. Let's try this out. The instructions say 3,000 to 3,500 RPM on the first pass. All right. Okay, that's pass number 1. So we still got to go over it 2 more times. Looks pretty cool though, huh? What a big improvement that is. But I think I want to move on and keep this same wheel on and just get that first pass done on everything first before I switch the pads around. Gonna be a late night.
Pretty sure I'm gonna need to get this plate off of here so that I can get at it really good. Oh no, it's dirty in there. I'm sorry, but I will not be cleaning in there. That stage is done.
We're just gonna polish up around this area, and then I'm gonna polish that on the ground.
Man, we've had a derailment come up here. I was just going around this corner here and the wheel kind of caught the edge just a hair. Unfortunately, this safety flange is stripped. I didn't really catch the edge that hard, but all of the threads on this thing are ripped right off. They were all still on the stud of this thing. I have one other buffing wheel here, and I'm hoping that I can put that on there because we have a lot more work to do still, and this is only the first pass. I certainly don't know what I'm doing. That was my best shot at that. That was really awkward on those steps right there. You just have to go at it from a couple different angles. And it sucks, this thing is so hard to fit into areas, you know, like the corners and all of that. I wonder how guys do that. I'm gonna have to start YouTubing stuff. Yeah, let me go see if I've got some other piece that can work for this that won't risk my life. There's a few spots where, you know, the wheel is turning in a certain direction, and I'm sure you don't want it turning so that it's gonna kick toward you. So where it gets weird is like under the tank over here. That was definitely, from that angle, I think you'd probably wanna maybe turn it the other way and work so that it's pulling away from you when you go down underneath. Even with the right technique, I think it's probably a good idea to use one of these kind of like a chainsaw where you're not lined up with your face. You know, I don't think you want to be looking at it head on, so it's keeping it kind of like at an angle. I wonder why they make this out of whatever kind of plastic this is. It doesn't seem very durable. Oh, all right, I had one of the older Zephyr buff wheels. This style one has a steel nut to hold it on there, which seems like a good idea. Seems like the newer style is a little closer together. Seems like a bad idea to mix and match. All you guys who know what you're doing out there are just like horrified right now. Seems like it could be pretty dangerous to not know what you're doing. So we got this washer, which isn't a very good fit. We got this plate here, which also isn't a very good fit. This one's a good fit though. I mean, I feel a lot better about having an actual steel nut on there. Well, I mean, the safety flange is nice and tight, and now we have a steel nut on this style one. Here goes nothing. I also bought a kit from Renegade. They include all kinds of stuff in here. 400 grit hook and loop. You got another, they don't have a finish buffing wheel, I don't think. They have other cool stuff though. These little things, oh, this might be really handy. And then their safety flanges are metal. And they got a couple rouge bars. The polishers I've talked to seem to like the Zephyr flanges a lot and their new airways, the wheels that we're using right now. But these look pretty good too, I don't know. These ones appear to be directional. They have like an arrow on there, so you might want to be aware of what direction that's spinning in. We'll probably use a combination of these two kits here. I think Zephyr and Renegade are probably the two main ones. I'm pretty sure if I was to use the Renegade one, I'm supposed to wear a bikini or something like that. There's quite a lot to do still. 1 a.m.
Enjoy your Easter.
Oh boy. Seems like this is staying nice and tight. Got good balance. I guess we're out of a jam. I was really worried for a minute there. It's not like I can run out and grab what I need from the store. I need to get this done by the morning. Cascade kit has some 400 grit 5-inch pads. Let's try this out. The sun's gonna be coming up any minute now. This is only the first pass too, that's the crazy part. I wonder if I'll get all the way to the finish pass. I might not even have time just staying up all night to do the third pass, I don't know. I still have to hit awesome sauce up on this thing, dress the tires, clean up the rims just a little bit more, touch-ups around the engine. There's a bunch of touch-ups that need to happen on the paint. I'm gonna use the awesome sauce for that. I gotta polish the stacks. I want to throw snake oil on it, and I need to take my after shots before Jack Castillo gets back. Costello. I think I'm gonna need another Celsius. So this one I can't take off, so it's gonna be a little trickier. No, let's figure it out. Well, we went through most of this rouge bar, and I was just about running out of this first heavy cut airway. Whew. What time is it? Oh my God, it's 5:30 in the morning.
Enjoy your Easter.
Oh, it's one heck of a crash course in learning how to polish, I guess. Well, that's the first pass. Whew. So this is the medium cut, I think now. Secondary semi-final finish. I'll be honest, this might be my final finish. I can't imagine going over it 2 more times. I can't even imagine going over it 1 more time. Ugh. Letting that one haze up a little bit so I can buff it off one last time. Gotta hit the second pass on that tank, put it together. Then I gotta buff all the paint with awesome sauce and dress the tires. All right. Well, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and now I gotta hit this whole thing with awesome sauce. The whole thing. Unfortunate, man. Very unfortunate. I don't know why this one is beating me up so hard. This thing did not agree. Man. Kind of hard to see through the dust versus what actually needs touch-ups. Alright, this is a little more GSM, I think, on these ones than the roller rags that I've been polishing with. I'm just going in here to just kind of fix a couple little things. I'm not even done polishing. I still got to do the stacks, and I got to touch up the wheels a little bit. Alright, little touch-ups. Man, whatever is on this thing is real difficult to get. Seems like real strong heavy duty with real hard mid agitation was doing it, but like Awesome Sauce ain't taking that off. Oh, man. What the heck was on this thing? This is the latest concept for our polish. This is the Bandit Blue, I figure we'll call it. Just needs to be darker. So we're gonna make another batch of that and find out what that looks like. Smells good though. Basically the same scent as our Stars formula, blueberry. You have to wait for this polish to haze up just a little bit so that you can get the good results. That is looking much better. I'm curious to see how the tire shine holds up when you throw snake oil on after. I think it'll be fine, but we'll find out. This is not aluminum, so, you know, aluminum polish probably isn't necessary here, but it is like good at getting stains out of Durabrite coatings though. It just kind of has the slightest bit of abrasion to it, which helps get things kind of looking good. Okay, well, I got myself cleaned up. Now I'm ready to do the next thing. We're gonna put some snake oil on it. Got all the tire shine in there. Everything's tuned up, looking good. Wiped some Awesome Sauce on the thing, a little glass cleaner here and there. It's looking right, but man, this one was probably the toughest one I've ever tackled. I don't know what the heck that film was made out of, but it was bulletproof, man. Oh, but I think we took it as far as we can. So now's the right time for snake oil. That should take this thing all the way. And I think that's where our Ryobi, the bigger one here, can be used. That should be able to handle putting on the snake oil on here just fine. So let's use that and see how it does. I'm putting on the snake oil right now. I forgot to turn on my camera again. I'm just really tired. I have been up for 30 something hours. This thing has absolutely beaten the ever-loving crap out of me. So here, it's rinsing really well though. This Ryobi's working for this. Okay, I need to use my real machine. I'm too tired to fiddle around. We need to get this done. So in conclusion, I think that these are interesting tools. This one here is awesome. I like the idea of being able to not have to plug it into power and just plug it into maybe a garden hose or have a siphon tube going to a water source somewhere. But eliminating the power cord alone is kind of useful. And this one hits pretty hard. It does all right. You know, it doesn't really work for something like what I did here. Obviously, this is a big project and this is something that's geared more towards really small things. You know, on a car, maybe if you're trying to do a touchless wash on a car,
power. I think you could do it. I think my soaps could work with it. It was interesting to see that this thing actually kept up with my higher PSI machines. It was just a limitation of my soaps on this particular type of film. Whatever was going on there, we don't know. But this is cool. I like this thing. Now this one here, you know your kitchen faucet, when you put it on the little sprayer mode, you got the little squeeze trigger on your kitchen sink there for your dishes. I think that hits harder than this. This thing hits so weak that it is completely pointless. It's even pointless as a pump sprayer. I have no idea what Ryobi was thinking. This is the most abominable, unbelievably weak, pointless thing that you could ever get. Please save your money. Do not get this thing. I might try and just send it back or something. Get my 200 bucks worth, you know. But I'm gonna keep these batteries and I'm gonna keep this one. I like this one a lot. I thought it was really useful and I think it could get some work done for you. But if you're trying to use my touchless soaps, just be aware, you're not gonna save a ton of time versus hand washing if you're using 1.2 gallons per minute. My touchless soaps, I think that they really start saving you time in the 2 gallon per minute and up range. I usually use 3.5 gallons per minute, and that's what I was using when I washed this thing. That hits really hard. You save a lot of time doing it that way, as long as you're not fighting whatever the heck was on this truck. The other issue is price. You know, this was 500 bucks, this was 200 bucks, but they don't come with the batteries. So 2 40-volt batteries and a charger is $500. And this only runs for about 20 or 25 minutes at full power, which is really weak. So you're gonna need 2 sets of batteries and another charger so that you can have 2 charging while running the other 2, which is another $500. So you're looking at an investment of $1,500 if you want to get any work done with this thing whatsoever. And I think for that price, you could just get a really nice gas-powered power washer and really hit hard and really do some work. I guess I don't feel like I wasted my money because maybe I'll grab some other Ryobi tools. I know they have a really good blower that's a really high CFM that I might want to check out. Maybe we can compare it to the Milwaukee. I think that there's some pretty cool yard tools you could get with the 40-volt Ryobi system. So I think that there's I'm not fully regretting it. Jack will be here in just a little bit and we're gonna see what he thinks of the truck. I think he's gonna be pretty happy. I hope so. I put a lot of work into this thing. I started on this thing on Saturday morning. It's now Monday afternoon and I think I've totaled up about 38 hours on this thing. I just went about it in all the wrong ways, but hopefully we learned something. Next time, we'll get more to the point more quickly. All right, Jack is here. We gotta let him in, see what he thinks.
Hey, Bob, how you doing, buddy?
Come on in, man. What do you think?
Oh, it looks great.
It came out pretty good, I gotta say. But I'm tired. I've been on this thing for almost 40 hours. I started Saturday morning, so it's been a lot. I was up all night. I've been up since yesterday at 8 a.m. It came clean though, we got it.
Oh yeah.
It was tricky. I was using these little guys right here, the little Ryobi machines. And then I ended up using that thing over there, which I figured what the heck, you know, maybe you'd be curious to see what it looked like, you know. It did help me a lot. It got a lot of work done. But we ended up needing to scrub it. I wasn't able to get it touch-free. Could not get it touch-free. But I polished all your aluminum.
Looks like new.
Dude. This is actually the first tank I've ever polished. I don't know how to polish, but I just did it anyway.
Did a good job.
Thank you, man. I'm glad to hear it. What do you think?
I think it looks great.
There was a lot of dirt on this thing. How long was it since the last time this was washed anyway?
Through the whole winter.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
you told me you wanted it as dirty as possible.
You got me good, man. That was because that was interesting. I was wondering what the limitations were on my touchless soaps because they did not do the job. I had to get it on there with a brush and really hit it hard. But it came clean. There was like a film on there that was really stingy. I was curious what you normally haul with this thing. Like what is?
Basically we haul sometimes with millings.
Okay.
We haul dirty dirt. We haul what do you call it? Asphalt.
Asphalt. I wonder if it's the dirty dirt that I was.
No, if it's stingy, it might have been the foam when they basically put the on a body. Sometimes it sprays a little bit over. The foam.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't stick. You get what I'm saying?
Interesting. Yeah, it was on there, man. I was scrubbing. I couldn't quite get all of it even with scrubbing, but I got close. And then I sealed it up with our snake oil, so it should be easy to keep it clean from here. But yeah, it cleaned up nice. It's a nice truck. Sure does look good. It's a beautiful color.
Oh,
I love it. There it is, man.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity, man. That was a challenge. That might have been the hardest one I ever did. It was surprising. It didn't look too bad, but that film was really on there.
Well, it was a pleasure. It's good to see you again, man.
Good to see you, huh?
Good luck in this season. Stay busy, man.
Gonna try to.
All right.